Hey, this is Five of Clubs, and welcome one and all to another episode of Simpleton Solos, a series in which a Simpleton plays one of his favorite board games. Now, a notable caveat should be stated here. Calling today's game one of my favorite board games is potentially premature, since today's playthrough is only a glimpse into the battle mechanics of a much larger board game. Perhaps more fittingly, I shall refer to this game as one of my most anticipated board games instead. Today we'll be playing the tabletop simulator demo of Aeon Trespass Odyssey, a Greek sci-fi epic that tasks 1 to 4 players with fighting off the supernatural forces unleashed upon their lands. Viewers who saw my Townsfolk Tussle playthrough will be largely familiar with the battle structure here, which pits 4 hero characters against a big bad boss. The story for the game is what initially drew my interest. Essentially, the Greek pantheon of gods grew arrogant in their power and sought to reach out to realms beyond their own. In doing so, they unleashed beings and powers beyond their understanding, and ultimately fell before the overwhelming might of these otherrealmly entities. Now, these Primordials, as they are called, have entered into the human realm, and their destructive might has proven unparalleled. However, a timely boon was granted to the humans, giant humanoid figures called Titans, that the heroes can pilot by casting their consciousness into them. Using these Titans, the humans might be able to stand a chance of repelling the invading forces and saving mankind from annihilation. The full narrative scope is much broader than that one-paragraph pitch, but while I find the story teasers and their implications fascinating, today's episode won't reference the story much. As I mentioned previously, this demo is simply a showcase of the Titan Primordial battle gameplay that will be in the final product. Since this is only a small slice of the pitched content, we won't get to see the full experience of growing our characters or setting up our characters like we did in Townsfolk Tussle, but that's okay. That being said, the development team did incorporate a few items to choose from for each battle in the latest demo build, so we'll see that small bit of that here today. While this preamble won't be an exhaustive overview of every keyword and mechanic in the game, it will help ease you into understanding the overall battle flow that you're about to see, and rest assured the other relevant bits and bobs will be addressed during gameplay. As far as gameplay goes, the battle will alternate between Primordial phase and the Titan phase, until either the Primordial is defeated or the Titans are. During the Primordial phase, similar to the Ruffian phase in Townsfolk Tussle, the boss will play an AI card from their deck and resolve its text accordingly. After resolving that AI card to completion, the AI card is discarded and play proceeds to the Titan phase. But before we talk about that, notice here that the Primordial has a second deck labeled BP. Well, in Aeon Trespass, whenever a Titan scores a hit on the baddie, you reveal the top card of this BP deck to reveal which body part your Titan's attack connected with. Your attack might strike the monster's armored shoulder, or maybe the Primordial's ankle, or possibly square in its ugly primordial mug. Depending on which location the Titan's attack hits, the monster may react in various ways. Perhaps a strike to the Primordial's leg may reduce its movement, or maybe a bonk to its armored chest piece will just tick it off and cause it to retaliate with a backhand blow. I always thought it was a bit silly that enemies would simply stand still and get pummeled on until their next turn, so this responsive reaction system on the body part cards is a welcomed addition. And it gets even better. Whenever you successfully wound the Primordial, the body part card that was wounded is actually used to track the damage done to the Primordial itself. The wounded BP card is placed in a special out-of-play area known as the wound stack, which will track how much damage has been done to the Primordial. This means you won't be able to target that card again, but something interesting also happens when a wound occurs this way. You see those extra card stacks above the AI and BP decks? You might have noticed that the card backs on these other stacks have Roman numerals 2 and 3 on them. Well, those numerals indicate the level of difficulty for those cards, and these escalated difficulty cards shuffle into the AI and BP decks throughout the course of the game in a process called escalation. When a level 1 body part card is wounded, you shuffle a level 2 BP card into the BP deck to replace it. Likewise, after adding the new BP card into the mix, you take the lowest level AI card from the AI deck, remove it from the game, and shuffle in the next level of AI from the stack above. You see, in Aeon Trespass, Primordials actually get stronger and more aggressive as they take damage, instead of being whittled down through damage. This is a great feature, as it means you won't get steamrolled out the gate through an unlucky power card draw, and the enemy gets even scarier as the fight progresses. Moving on to the Titan phase, each Titan will be given 1 turn to perform 1 movement and 1 action. No action points here. Combat actions like attacks, and non-combat actions like terrain interactions, all cost 1 action each, simple as that. Additionally, each Titan has a base movement value of 5 spaces, so you won't have to track asymmetrical movement values like in Townsfolk Tussle, at least until you get some movement modifying gear. Generally, so far as the demo build is concerned, your turns will primarily consist of movement and attacks, unless your gear or the terrain offers you interesting alternatives. Resolving attacks against the Primordial is very similar to how attacks worked in Townsfolk Tussle or Kingdom Death Monster, mainly relying on the attacking weapon stats to dictate the parameters of the attack attempt. In the top left corner of each weapon card, you will find a specified number of dice that you may roll when using an attack action, as well as an accuracy modifier number underneath. On this boat mace weapon card, for example, you will get to roll one 10-sided die and add 2 to its roll value when making an attack attempt. However, on a card like the Siren Teeth Blades here, you get to roll 3 dice and add 0 to the roll values. After rolling these dice, if the value of the roll plus any modifiers matches or surpasses the Primordial's hit value displayed on its Primordial board, the hit is considered successful, and you get to draw and resolve a BP card. If the final value of the roll plus modifiers is less than the hit value, the strike is counted as a miss and no BP card is resolved. But even if you manage to score a hit, that's only half the battle. Indeed, a successful hit does not necessarily result in a wound to the Primordial, but more like a glancing blow. Each BP card has a listed AT armor value displayed at the center of the card. You will have to roll a separate set of red 6-sided dice, looking for the total number of scratch symbols, called breaks, to match or surpass the BP's armor value. If you roll an equal or greater value of breaks than the armor value on the BP card, you successfully wound the Primordial. If your wound roll fails to meet or exceed the BP's armor value, the hit was not precise or powerful enough to result in a wound and the attack attempt fails, which may trigger a response from the upset Primordial on certain BP cards. I know this can seem as though the odds are stacked against you, and indeed they are in some regards, but you won't be helpless out there. Teamwork and coordination are essential aspects of the battle experience, and Titans may assist one another through the use of Kratos tokens. Kratos tokens offer small benefits that help make the next Titan's attack a little easier to land. There are 2 types of Kratos tokens that can be left in the Kratos assist pool for future Titan use: opening tokens and break tokens. Opening tokens, in short, offer +1 accuracy to the next Titan attack, meaning that the next Titan gets to add 1 to their D10 attack roll value. This accuracy bonus stacks on top of the built-in weapon accuracy bonuses as well, like the boat mace's +2, which can make certain hits really easy to succeed at. Break tokens, on the other hand, offer additional break marks when the next Titan rolls their red D6 for a wound roll, but there's a small catch here. It's not just a free +1 break. It can only be used to replace one of these star icons on certain D6 die faces. These star icons are called potentials, and they may be converted to breaks if there are break tokens in the active Kratos pool. Otherwise, they don't do anything for you and are lost at the end of the attack. Opening and break tokens are able to be placed in the Kratos pool at the end of a Titan's attack, usually through weapon bonuses or rage bonuses. What is rage, you might ask? An excellent question. Rage, Fate, and Danger are the 3 stats that you will track for each Titan throughout the game. During the course of battle, these stats will raise from 0 upward after certain triggers can occur. For starters, Rage is gained whenever a Titan initializes an attack. Similar to the Primordials who get stronger through damage, your Titans get stronger the more they attack. Each level of Rage unlocks various abilities on your Titan's Rage chart, allowing you access to leaving Kratos tokens in the pool, giving you free rerolls of your red D6 dice, and various other abilities. The higher your Titan's Rage, the more Rage abilities they have access to. However, when your Titan's Rage gets too high, it will buck your pilot out of the saddle and run off in an uncontrollable rampage. Fate is a resource that can be used to activate certain weapon gear effects, or it can be spent to re-roll your 10-sided dice. That said, if you twist Fate too much, there are penalties for your Fate value being too high, like the Primordial dealing extra damage or effects when it attacks. And lastly, while the Primordial certainly hurts you when it hits you, the fallout from Primordial attacks is not measured through damage points. Your Titan, as you may have noticed, does not have a listed health point value anywhere. Instead, the Primordial deals danger to the Titans, which is a somewhat abstracted form of harm inflicted through its attacks. After a Titan gains danger from any attack, they will have to draw a card from one of the shuffled trauma decks per the trauma chart on their Titan character board. At 1 to 3 danger, the Titans would have to draw a minor trauma card, whereas at 4 to 6 danger, they would have to draw a major trauma card, and so on. As your danger stat rises, you'll draw higher level trauma cards, which inflict tougher debilitations and increase your chances of drawing a trauma card that results in your Titan's death. These trauma cards are an interesting take on the idea of damage, and sometimes they can surprise you. Maybe we'll see 1 or 2 surprises from these cards in today's playthrough. Now mind you, this is all a rudimentary, truncated overview of the larger battle systems involved here, and, of course, a small glimpse into their potential. Even with all of this, there's still more aspects and intricacies I could pontificate about, but that would drag out this orientation for another 20 minutes, which would likely put you to sleep if you aren't asleep already. Nay, instead I say we dive into the action and cover the other bits as they arise in gameplay. So, without further ado, let's synchronize with our Titans and head out to face the towering Hecka-ton, a monstrous mass of arms, hands, and fingers dead set on pummeling every person and polis it finds. Let's see how the Hecka-ton likes it when he picks on someone his own size. Alrighty everybody, we are about ready to begin, and there he is. Let's give him a huge hand of applause. The Hecka-ton, I mean really, you gotta hand it to the guy. He came armed to the teeth for a bare knuckles brawl, and that is the extent of the arm puns and hand puns that you will hear from me for the duration of this battle. I supposed I was going to get those out of the way nice and early, and thus we did. And let us go ahead and just appreciate his art for a bit. I love the 2 guys running away. Seems like they have the right idea. Those poor cattle adorned about its neck. Unfortunately, we're not as fast as these fellows to run, it appears.
By Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged.
I really like the art here, especially the craggy jaws that are also incidentally fingers. The 2 fingers sticking out here, I assume are supposed to indicate almost like a tongue, which, I don't know, but for some reason it just comes across as a little goofy to me, like he's going, you know? But surely that's not what is happening. Alright, so the name of the game is a level 1 Hecka-ton fight today. He has a 7+ on his accuracy stat, which we have to roll if we want to successfully hit the monster. He has a movement value of 6, and we have to deal 10 wounds to this monster in order to actually defeat it. Indeed, and here is the battle set up. Here is the Hecka-ton right in the center, and our Titans are set up on pre-established spots on the board per the encounter setup. So, I believe we're about ready. I suppose let's just jump right into it. Here we go, level 1. Cold open. Well, we are at the start of the battle, so I guess a cold open does make sense. It goes from 0 to 10 in a heartbeat, and the punches keep on coming. And you can see he's doing this multi-punch attack with his hundreds of arms. Target the closest Titan in front in range. So in front indicates basically anything from the row directly in front of the monster onward. So everything up here, currently only one of our Titans falls within that targeting parameter, and that is Phylacteria here. So, moving right along to what, now that we've selected a target, what's going to happen? Move and attack. Okay, and then actually right here, if we had 3 or more fate, we would have an extra die to roll for this attack, but thankfully we don't have any fate yet. So let's go 1, 2, and 3. And now the Hecka-ton is staring down at Phylacteria with a menacing gaze, and it appears that we are going to have to roll 4 dice, and to dodge those blows, we need to roll 6+. Wow, that's a lot of dice. Okay, let's go ahead and roll. Okay, 7, 8, and 7. I'm sorry, 7, 7. Well, yeah, 7, 8, 7 actually is correct. And we have a 1 here on this white die, and I should mention for the white die, the white die is a special die for your 10-sided dice that indicates the critical die. So essentially when you're resolving an attack and you roll that die, if you roll a natural 10 on the die, that would allow you to do a critical hit opportunity, or if you actually roll a 10 during an evasion, like we are now, that would allow you to do a critical evade, which some of the different gear in the game interacts with. But in any case, we have what looks like 7, 8, and 7, so these 3 are going to dodge the first 3 hits, and this 1 is not, but we can spend fate to re-roll this die, because hopefully we can get something a little better. That's a 3, which isn't too great. Okay, so the 3, unfortunately, is going to be what you have to remain with, because you're only able to re-roll each die with fate one time. So it looks like we are going to take at least one hit, and let's find out what happens. Each hit does 1 danger. After attack, push back 3. Okay, so he's going to give us 1 danger. There we go. And he's going to push us back 3 spaces. My goodness. 1, which is going to crash us into the columns terrain, which has the destructible 1 trait. So when we crash into it, it is destroyed. Then 2, we are getting knocked into, and actually this person's going to get pushed as well. We are getting knocked into this city, which is a special terrain that is destructible 2, meaning it essentially can take like 2 hits. When a Titan or Primordial collides with this tile, flip it. So as you can see right now, it's on its pleasant side where the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and things are great. But now that we have come barreling into the city, we now have wreaked a bit of havoc on here, and you can see some of the buildings are destroyed, and these people appear to be trying to deal with the aftermath. But of course, we get pushed 1 more space because we are getting pushed back for 3. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me take one quick look at this. You know what? Before we do the pushback 3, I actually need to do something else first. Here we go. There we go. There we go. So since we suffered danger, and this is actually a spot that says after attack, after this little exclamation point, we have to draw our minor trauma card first, and that actually can be potentially important depending on what we draw here. Let's see. Kratos Whisper. The Moirai are watching. Now, I didn't know who the Moirai were originally, but the scissors right here with the string reminded me of that scene from the Disney animated Hercules where the Fates, you know, had the scissors. They would try to cut, or they would rather cut the mortal lives with those life strings with the scissors, and I'm sort of thinking the same thing is happening here. I thought those were the Fates in Hercules, but the Moirai, whoever they are, seem to be doing that, cutting the thread of fate here. Pretty cool. But it's going to reward us, actually. This is a minor trauma that is good. It's going to give us 1 rage for free. Normally, you generate rage when you resolve attacks, but we have not had a chance to do so. But this actually sets us ahead so that when we resolve our next attack, we're going to have 2 rage to work with, granting us access to those rage 2 level abilities. So very good. And we just went ahead and put that on the bottom of the minor trauma deck because that's what you do once you resolve them. And the pushback is still going to occur. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So we know that that's being destroyed. And actually this city, because the Hecka-ton is stomping on the corner of it now, the city itself is also getting destroyed. Which, because of what the ruined city is, as you can see here, when a Titan or the Primordial collides with this tile, remove it and gain -1 diplomacy with the active faction. That's not going to play any sort of part in our battle here today, just because of the fact that it's only a view of the battle mechanics itself. But in the actual full campaign experience, there is diplomacy, and the different factions in the world will have varying opinions of you, and you will want to maintain good standings or bad standings, depending on, I guess, what they are. All right, so we have resolved the cold open card in full. And live from New York, it's Saturday night! We ended up only taking 1 hit from it. If I wanted to, I could have used my Siren Shield to pay 2 fate and exhaust this card to block that 1 hit that we took, but I figured, you know what, 1 danger is not actually too bad. We'll save that hit for something a little meatier, I suppose. But now, play shifts, and it is time for the Titans to go, and I think we're going to start with Herodotus over here, whose beard game is on point right there. I must appreciate that. Very good. So blue Herodotus is right here. He is going to move 1 and 2, and he's going to attack from this side here of the Hecka-ton. He is using the Siren Teeth Blades, which allows him to roll 3 of these dice, and I am looking for 7+ in the roll values. Okay, I have 1 8. That is 1 success, and of course we do get a rage for resolving an attack. Let's spend 1 fate, and let's just see if we can get another hit. Oh, indeed we do. Perfect. So we have 2 hits here. I could spend a rage to reroll this one, but I mean not a rage. I could spend a fate to reroll that one, but I don't want that climbing too high just yet. So I think I'm going to leave it just like that with 2 hits. Each hit is going to grant me 1 red die, so I get 2 from there, and then all Titans also have 1 die innate to their Titan form. So I get to roll 3 dice right here, but before we roll them, let's see what body part we're actually hitting. The runt. Okay, so it's this big arm, and there's this itty-bitty little arm branching off. It only has an armor value of 2, and we get to roll 3 of these dice. I'm feeling pretty good about our odds here, but let's go ahead and see what happens. Okay, so we have 1 scratch here, or break. They're called breaks, so I'm going to try my best to call them scratches as infrequently as possible. So we have 2 breaks here, which does match the armor value of the runt card, which means we successfully wound the runt. If we had failed, we would just get pushed back by 2, which isn't too harsh of a punishment. Alright, so this card goes to the wound stack, and then we escalate, bringing a level 2 body part down here, removing a level 1 AI card, and shuffling in a level 2 in its place. Alright, and at the end of the attack, we get to do a number of things. We have opening 1, which is going to allow me to put an opening token out there for free. And we also have back away 2, which allows me 2 free movement to get away from the monster. And that's really good because at least this particular monster I know has certain attacks that will target spaces adjacent to itself. And we don't want that to come to bother us. So, moving right along, I suppose we're going to get to put this one up there for free as a result of our weapon attack. But because we have 1 rage, we now are able to leave either a break token up there, granting someone a free break if they roll a potential, like these dots up here would have allowed, or we have an accuracy one called an opening, which would help someone to be able to have to roll lower to get a hit on the Hecka-ton. I suppose let's go ahead and throw these 2 right up in here. So that means instead of a 7+, whoever goes next only has to roll a 5+ to land a hit. Very good. Okay. I suppose now I will flip this card to show that he has concluded his turn. And I think I'm going to have Phylactery go. 1, 2, 3. Phylactery got bonked and was not thrilled about that. So Phylactery, I believe, is going to attack with the Siren Blade. It's only a 1 die weapon, but for a successful roll, you end up getting to roll 2 reds instead of the 1, like the Siren Blade. So let's go ahead and give that a roll. That is a 2, my friends. And let's get a Rage, bringing us to 2. And let's spend Fate to re-roll that. I mean, come on. Okay, is this how this is going to go today? Okay. So unfortunately, I actually rolled a 2 again, which means that despite the fact that I basically only had to roll like a 4+, because this one also has a +1 on it, I didn't manage to get it somehow. So unfortunately, Phylactery swung and she missed. Her rage will not be sated at this time. All right, moving right along, we have our friend over here, I believe, who is Solon. Yes, and Solon is a melee-oriented Titan who is well out of range for being able to hurt the Hecka-ton. So I think he's just going to have to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about that? And then last but not least, let's flip that. I know he won't get to increase his rage either because he has not resolved an attack. And last but not least, let us have Ulyssia go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm at range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the Hecka-ton. Now, I do actually have ranged weapons over here. I have a Petrified Javelin, which has range 2 to 4. And I have a Ballista Gun, ranges 4 to 6. The only one of these 2 weapons I can hit is the Ballista Gun. So let's go ahead and use it. And it says here I have to pay 1 fate to attack with this weapon. Alright. So I'm going to try to resolve an attack. It is 1 die I get to roll. That is a 4, and plus 2 here brings it to 6, but it's not quite the 7 that we need. So I'm going to get that fate there to try and roll this again. And we're back to 2 again. Okay. So it looks like this is going to be trickier than I thought it was going to be. We do not have to exhaust this card yet. You actually only exhaust on a wound now, which is at least, I don't know, slightly pleasant, I suppose. Okay, well, that wasn't so good. I mean, we did get 1 wound, but a lot of misses going on. Hopefully what we're doing right now is we're just getting all of our misfortune out of the way at the start of things so that we can just start laying on the hits as the battle continues from here. And since these people both missed, they weren't able to leave. Even though she actually resolved an attack and got a rage, she's not able to leave any assist tokens in the assist pool unless she actually hits the monster. And since she missed, nope, not going to happen. Okay, it is time for the AI, for the monster to go again. Thunder Punch. Oh boy. The Hecka-ton rears on its hind arms and delivers a powerful downward blow. Target the closest Titan in front in range. Currently, there are no Titans in front in range because this row onward is empty of Titans. So we move on to the next targeting parameter. Target closest Titan in sight. Yes, indeed. So in sight is basically everywhere on the board except for the two tiles, or the two spaces directly behind the Hecka-ton. I'll move that back there because it shouldn't have moved. So the closest person in sight, unfortunately, is going to be Phylactera. So Phylactera is going to be attacked despite the fact that she just took that cold open. Last time, she's also now going to get a Thunder Punch here, which says move and attack. The Titan does not have to move this time because they're already adjacent. So I have to roll 3 dice, and I'm hoping for 9+ to dodge. Anything under that is not going to successfully dodge this thing. Alright. Let's roll. We have 3, 6, and 4. None of those are dodges, unfortunately. I could spend Fate to do some rerolls, or I could spend 2 Fate to block one of the hits, if I wanted to. Let's see. Each hit does 1 danger, and at 3+ Fate, it would add pushback 3 after hit. And then potentially a knockdown. Okay. Even if I used my shield, that would only block 1 hit, leaving me with 2 that I still have to deal with. I'm going to maybe save the shield until such a time as there's an attack that does more danger per hit. So we're getting... Oh, but you know what? If I block right now, you know, I think I will. Because that means I'll only have to take 2 danger, keeping me at the minor trauma levels instead of dipping into the major trauma. So you know what? I think it's worth it for that purpose. So we took 2 danger. Now we have to resolve this card right here. Insulted. The Moirai are watching. Ah, yes. They appear to be rather interested in the adventures of Phylactera. So, yes, indeed. You may perform an immediate attack. Ignore attack responses. And then it says knockdown. If you're knocked down, immediately stand up instead. So that's different. So in the original version of this beta, there was many times, at least in my playing experience, where I would draw one of these trauma cards and I would already be knocked down, and then it would say something cool like this of perform an immediate attack. But since you're knocked down, it basically was a waste and the card didn't do anything for you, which always felt kind of sad. So it looks like now they're giving alternative effects as well. If you're knocked down, you can stand up, or there's something you can do if you're knocked down when you draw the trauma card, which I don't know if that's necessarily true for all the cards in here, but I do appreciate at least that it is here for this. So very cool. So we get to actually hit the monster back. And one thing I should mention is there's this rule in the game called the chain break reaction. So essentially on here you see these little exclamation points with these steps. Well, essentially there's times when you can respond to the monster, and sometimes you'll interrupt whatever the monster's doing, and vice versa, where like on a body part location the monster may interrupt what you're doing. And depending on how those things fire off, like after you draw another trauma card, maybe you get another free attack, and then you have to remember to interrupt the other person, and it could kind of get a bit muddled with enough effects going on. So the way that the developers decided to get around sort of a complex interaction tracking is to say whenever somebody's action interrupts the opposite person's action, then that new action takes precedence over whatever the resolution was for the rest of it. So like in this case, my attack is now taking precedence and essentially breaking the chain on the Thunder Punch, because I am now attacking the monster, and the monster is not going to be able to do the knockdown because it's busy trying to defend from me now. So let us go ahead. We're making a new attack, which means we do get a rage, which is very good. And we get to roll 1 die here, as we have before. That's a 1. My goodness. We are, oh wow, we are high up on fate. We are really having struggles here. Okay, an 8. That actually will hit, thankfully. Goodness. Okay. Alright, so we are hitting the left shield fist, which has an armor value of 4. And actually, it has a wound response, where if I wound the monster, it would do something. But actually, if I wound it successfully, thanks to the Insulted card here, I get to ignore attack responses. So even if I did wound it, then I actually would not be in trouble. So I get 2 dice from successfully rolling with the Siren Blade, and I get 1 here, leading me to roll 3 dice, trying to get 4 of those breaks. Oh, I got 5. Wow, look at that. Okay, so we got 5 breaks here, which is going to wound this spot. That would normally have netted me 1 fate and a knockdown, but thankfully, I get to ignore it, because the game said so. Haha. Yes, so we have hit the left shield fist. Let's go ahead and remember. Thankfully, there's this nice reminder down here. Remember to escalate. So we shall certainly remember. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Very good. All right, and because it's the end of my attack, I am at Rage 3, meaning I get to leave not only 1 token between a choice here, but I get to leave a 2nd token here. And if I wanted to, I could use Back Away 1. And you know what? I will. Why not? Let's see. And, Oh, and the nice thing here, too, is if for some reason I was a few breaks short, I would have the luxury of 1 reroll of the red die, which is very nice. I suppose, what's next in this stack? We have a level 1 up there. Let's just do 1 of each, shall we? We're going to put 1 opening up there and 1 break up there for the next person to use. How about that? I think that's fair. Okay. Very good. So no knockdown from you, sir. No, not today. You have insulted me. And the beautiful thing is, if I had not used my Siren Shield to stay within 1 to 3 danger to get the minor trauma, the major trauma I would have drawn would not have necessarily caused that chain break, given us that free wound, and put us in the position that we are now. So I guess it was a good call to use the Siren Shield when we did. Very good. Alrighty. Moving right along, it is time for our friends to go, and we have what looks like an opening and a break token up there, as we recall. I suppose what I will do, let's have our friend over here go once again. Herodotus, that is 3 dice he gets to roll, and he gets the benefit of +1 now. Okay, so we have a 0. So for those of you who are not familiar with 10-sided dice, a 0 on a 10-sided die is actually a 10. Because the values range from 1 to 10 on each of the die faces. So, just so that you know, it doesn't actually mean like a 0 where I utterly failed, thankfully. And of course, let us get a rage for that. And you know what? Let's spend 1 fate to re-roll this 2. I don't know. Hopefully, we can get something that's a hit. Oh, there we go. A 9. We have a 9 here, which I'll hover over it just to make sure. I'm not sure why these ones have the underlines and these ones don't. But thankfully, if you hover over it in the game, you can tell which one it is, as opposed to it being a 6. Very good. All right, so we have a 9, a 10. The 4, unfortunately, even with the opening we have up here, will not hit. But we do have 2 hits, which is well on our way to a potential wound. Let's see. The right mighty fist. Yes, and that fist is cocked and ready. And we have 3 armor that we have to get through. But let's not forget, we do have 1 break up there. All right. Moving 1 of those 3 dice, because we have 2 from our hits here, 1 from here. Okay, so now here even with we use the break token, we are 1 shy of the 3 that's required. But since we're at 2 rage, we do get to 1 reroll of 1 of these dice. So let's go ahead and reroll this. That's more like it. We have 1 break here, 1 break here, and some stars. If we use our break token that we were had enough foresight to be able to leave for us, we can change 1 of those stars into a break, which makes 3 breaks against an armor value of 3. That's going to result in a wound. Unfortunately, the wound is going to give us some trouble, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and place that there. Let us remember to escalate. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. Looks like we have a level 2 AI and a level 2 body part coming up next. Let's remove these so that I don't forget. All right, because a few things are going to happen here. We have pushback 1, gain 1 danger, and then knock back 5. So he's going to turn toward us. He's going to push us back 1 space. There we go. And I get 1 danger, which is going to net me a minor trauma card, but that's not too bad. They've been okay so far. Uh-oh. Wait a minute, what is this? Fateful wound, condition trauma on the body. All of your attacks gain critical fail. Gain 1 danger and immediately miss the attack. Critical fail. I assume a critical fail is when you roll a 1. That's a new term. I haven't seen it before, but that's my guess, is that it's when you roll a 1. And maybe it's actually a critical fail because you can only get criticals on the critical die. That means if I roll a 1 on this die, then this would happen. Wow. That's terrible. Okay, so that was not good. Nope, that was not. And we are going to get knocked back 5 spaces per the Mighty Fist response. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. He pushed us quite a ways away, unfortunately. I mean, we got the wound, though, so I guess it's okay. All right. Now, the thing is, though, our attack was successful, so we do still get to use this. Opening 1 and back away 2. So opening is going to let us leave one of these opening tokens, as we recall. And I get to leave 1 as well because of my rage pool allowing me to leave a break or an opening. I think we already have an opening up there, so let's go ahead and throw a break because we know that we have level 2s coming up and they tend to have higher armor values than their level 1 counterparts. But yes, so I guess I'll flip that. So he is done. I'll flip these. I'll try my best to actually remember to flip them. I don't think that's what these are actually for. It's just to help me remember who's gone and who hasn't. And then the back away too, I don't know that I can really do that. And frankly, I don't know that I would want to because I'm already 5 spaces away from this guy. All right. Thank you, Herodotus. Very good. Let's see who wants to go next. Maybe Solon can go, huh? Solon will go 1, 2... maybe right there. And we'll swing at the side of the Hecka-ton here with 1 die. At +2, which is really +3. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, so that's a 4. But with the +2 of the weapon and the +1 token here for our opening, that's going to bring us up to 7, meaning we have a successful hit. But what are we hitting? What trouble are we in? Oh my. Calcified maze plates. That has an armor value of 6. And if you fail, you gain Hecka-ton level danger. He's only a level 1, so that would only be 1 danger, which isn't so bad, but not ideal. Oh, and of course, let us make sure that we get our rage. All right, so we are going to get to roll 2 dice here per the boat mace and a 3rd per our Titan bonus. Let's go ahead and roll. I would have to get, yeah, I mean, I don't have the re-roll, but I would basically have to get like 2 of them that were on the 2 face and 1 of them that was on a 2 or the 1 with a potential right there, in order to get that 6. So I didn't think it was really going to happen, frankly. But now it's out of that deck, so we can start hitting things that are a bit more feasible at this point in the game. I did fail, though, so I do get Hecka-ton level danger. There we go. Which is going to net me a minor trauma card, of course. And hopefully this one's a bit better than the other. Oh. Okay. You know, to be honest, I can't tell what that means. So, because I can't tell what it means, like, I don't recognize the symbol. So, I guess, to be, like, fair, instead of redrawing, I'm just going to not gain the priority target token, because it did say I have a choice. I'll try and figure out what that means later, but that's not a symbol that I recognize. I thought it was going to be for accuracy, or I think in this game that's actually called, like, something else, like perception or whatever. But in any case, I don't know what to do with that, so I'm just going to go ahead and not get the glory bit. Alright, so we took our danger, and that was that. And these tokens go away. We are going to get to put 1 of them back, though. And we also have break 1, which means we get a free break token. And you know what? Since we have a break token up there, why don't we go ahead and use our Rage Kratos ability to leave an opening for whoever's going to be hitting the next card. Yep, I think that's just fine. Okay, Otis 0 has gone, or Solon has gone. Phylactera. Yes, why not? Let's go ahead. Phylactera is going to move 2 spaces toward the Hecka-ton's hindquarters and swing with all of her furious might. Here we go. Oh, man, I was hoping that's 0. Okay, an 8's still a hit because +1, 9. And then with this is actually 10. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. 1 of 100. Okay, it has an armor value of 2, not too high. And if you fail, it's just push back 2. So even the punishment for missing is not that bad. But we do get to roll 3 dice here, which is not awful. Okay, so actually, I do have the ability to, now that I'm at 4 rage, I actually can do 2 rerolls, but I don't really need to because we already have 1 breakup here, thanks to the excellent swing of the boat mace, which means that we already have the 2 that we need to actually complete the wound. So let's go ahead and drew that right over there. We're going to shuffle a level 2 in there, and let's take a look right there. Yes, indeed. You take the matching level and get the next one higher, which is why I drew the other 2 level 2 cards before, and ended up escalating a level 1 because the body part itself was a level 1. If it was a level 2 body part that I had done damage to, then I would escalate a level 2 AI to a level 3, and same with the body part. Okay, bam, so we got it. Additionally, we get to do back away 1, and I think I will, just to be safe. And we get a number of different bonuses here. We get to leave 2 tokens, and if I wanted to, I could use this, which is push back 1. So if I was here, actually, you know what? That's even better. So I've never actually pulled this off in battle yet, so I'm kind of excited to do it. Instead of doing the back away 1, I'm actually going to utilize that ability to do pushback, where I push the monster, sort of like he's been pushing us around. Now, let's go ahead and give him a shove. And we actually shoved him onto the column tile. And as per the column terrain tile, it's a trap. If you push the primordial onto this tile, remove the tile and roll a d10. And then depending on what we roll, various things can happen. So let's find out. That's a 1. That's going to be not good. 1 to 2, nothing happens. Darn, I was really hoping for these sorts of things it would have helped, but nope, apparently not. Apparently not. Wow. Okay, darn, that was so exciting, and then it wasn't. So the thing is, I don't know the technical resolution if you're allowed to do the push back and then use the back away, since it's at the very end of the attack. I'm going to play as though you can't, but it could very well be that you are able to do it in that order, but I'm going to play as though, since I don't know, I'm going to deprive myself of the benefit if I'm not supposed to have it. So that is that. And last but not least, we have our friend Ulyssia with her ranged weapons. And I think Ulyssia is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Actually, we're going to go right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 range here. Let's go ahead and attack with our petrified javelin. Oh, and of course, we have to leave some tokens up here per Phylactera's stuff. So, you know what? She's just going to leave one of each again. That kind of has been working out for us. So let's try that. Alright, so she has to roll 2 dice at +1. Okay, the 2, okay, neither of those 2s are going to hit. Of course, get a rage. Let's spend 1 fate to re-roll this one. That's a 9. That's much better. That's going to give us 1 red die plus 1 here. I could spend another fate to re-roll this die, but maybe I want to re-roll it or make it... fine. You know what? Let's do it. Alright, come on! Oh, I was really hoping it stopped on that 0. A 6 is okay, though. Because 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 from the opening is 8, meaning that it's going to be a hit also. Leaving me with 3 red dice that Ulyssia gets to roll. Very good. Alright, but what are we hitting today? We are hitting the left Mighty Fist. We saw the right Mighty Fist, I believe, and now we have the left Mighty Fist. Armor value of 3 and a wound response. Okay. Very good. So let's go ahead and roll these. Okay, 1, 2 breaks, and of course we do have 1 break token up here, allowing us to change one of these potentials into a success, giving us 3 breaks, which breaks through that armor value. Very good. Alrighty, very good. So we have left Mighty Fist. Bam, we hit it. So let's go ahead, and that is a level 1 body part. So let's not forget. Oh, we have to, let's see. Okay, these are all level 2s. So in the case like that, where they're all level 2s, and you have to escalate from a level 1 body part, you check the discard for level, whatever level matches the body part you did. So there is one right here, so we'll flip that. And then you shuffle the whatever higher level is up here into the AI deck. That's how that works. Okay, very good. So, wow, all right, we are 6 wounds on our way to 10 wounds against this Hecka-ton. So we are well on our way to achieving victory. Yes, yes, yes. But let us not forget, it has a wound reply. push back 1, gain 1 danger. Oh, and you know what? We wounded with the javelin, so let's exhaust it. Alright, so we have to do pushback 1. So the thing is, I saw online, pushback is not something that can, like, occur from a ranged attack, right? Because essentially the monster is up there and grapples you and like, shoves you. But I'm way over here, so the monster is not going to be doing any sort of shoving against me. So the thing is, that means that the pushback does not resolve against me. However, I mean, I guess I didn't get pushed back, so I don't think I get the danger from being pushed back because the monster has not inflicted any sort of actual physical contact with me. So I think actually this person was able to not suffer any of the consequences there because she's way over here waving her stick around and teasing and prodding the Hecka-ton. So that worked out incredibly well. And before I forget, let us, of course, leave one of these tokens behind. Should we leave an opening or should we leave a break? We have a level 2 body part coming up. Let's leave a break because I mean we saw that 6 earlier. That was really something. Speaking of which, where did it go? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. So actually we only have 5 wounds. I miscounted because apparently I accidentally also scooped up the calcified maze plates. We are only halfway to our goal, but still well on our way. Okay, so that's everybody. Everybody has gone, and before I forget, let's flip all of these. Very good, and let us draw the next AI card. Chain Fist, level 2 AI. The monster cartwheels into you like a giant ball of fists and pain. Goodness. Target the priority target in range. So if my other character who had that trauma had taken the priority target token, the Hecka-ton would target him, but unfortunately, or rather, maybe fortunately, depending on how this turns out, he decided not to do that. Now, otherwise, target the Titan in front in range. Closest Titan in front in range. That's going to be, I believe, Solon here. Yes, it is. And looking at the attack, its move and attack, at 3 plus fate, it would be an additional die, meaning I'd have to roll 3. Each hit does 1 danger. Okay. So I get to roll, according to the attack, I get to roll 2 of these. Oh, that 9. It was so close to a 9. I have a 1 and a 5. But look at this. The shield offers me 2 rerolls. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize those right here. Oh, that 9. Come on. What is this? All right, that's an 8 and a 5. Neither of those are going to actually dodge this. I could spend fate trying to re-roll those, but I'm actually pretty low on danger. So maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll just take my danger and see what happens. Each hit does 1 danger. Oh, after attack, if danger was dealt, repeat Chain Fist once. Oh boy, so this is going to be a card that potentially loops. Okay. Okay, that's going to get us another one of these minor trauma cards. But let's see what happens. Gash. Uh-oh. Gain. Oh, no. Oh, man. The Hecka-ton must have torn a bit out of our flesh there. Gain 1 danger and draw another trauma card. Shuffle this card back in the trauma deck. Oh, wow. Okay. So now that I'm at 4, I now am at the part where I have to draw a major trauma card. Uh-oh. That's not good. And this is going to shuffle into the minor trauma decks. Oh, that's a terrible one. What do we got? Kratos Glimpse. Your fate is beckoning. Gain 2 rage. Alright, you've really ticked my Titan off with that wound. So, apparently you've given me a little bit of rage. And since it did deal damage, he's going to repeat this card again. Meaning I have to roll... let's find out. How many fate do I have right now? I have oh, I still have 0. Okay, good. Alright, so I still only roll 2 dice, and I'm trying to get 9 plus, and I get my rerolls back because this is a new attack. So let's see what we've got. Okay, that actually is going to work. That is a 10. So we are able to dodge one of the hits. Now we go reroll number 1. That's not going to do it. Reroll number 2. That's so close, but just shy of what we need. You know what? I haven't spent any fate yet, so let's just try it. Okay, that's a 1. That's actually the opposite of the direction I wanted that to go, but that's all right. Yes, indeed. So that's going to net us with 1 more danger, which is going to net us with a 2nd major trauma. Oh, boy. Call to arms. You may move another Titan up to 3 spaces or stand up another Titan. Interesting. Okay. That is interesting. I guess I'll move. No one's knocked down, so standing someone up doesn't make a lot of sense. I think what I'll do is I will move 1, 2, 3. I'll move Phylacteria 3 spaces back. I think. Yep, that's what I'll do. Because I have an idea. Alrighty. Okay. Yes, so that card is done. I do not like that card. No, sir. No, sir. I do not. Alright, but it is Titan time. So let's see what we have. We have a level 2 card coming up and 1 break, huh? Well, it's going to be kind of hard to hit on any circumstance, but thankfully, I came prepared. Each Titan has an ability here when you're at 2+ danger. That is called Rush. You pay 1 fate to move at least 3 spaces and attack at +1 speed, which means I could move up to 6 spaces instead of 5, you know, as a rush would do, and place +1 break token in the active pool. You must reach your target via the shortest possible path. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I get to put one of these up there, leaving me with 2 potential breaks toward the level 2 body part that we are going to be attacking here. Alright, time to roll the Siren Blade. Oh, and of course, let us go ahead and get yet another Rage, which this is one of the best abilities right here. Look at this. It's going to give us a whole new red die whenever we resolve attacks. Okay, that 2 is not going to do it, so I'm going to spend 1 fate to re-roll into something potentially a bit better. Come on, that's a 3. Why do you do this to me? Man, that's terrible. Okay, well, that was an utter whiff and a failure. So unfortunately, she swung at the Hecka-ton. Despite its monstrous mass, somehow she managed to miss it with an attack and even a second attack. So, wow, poor form, I'll say. Poor form, Phylacteria. I set you up as best I could for success, and you've let me down a little bit, I'll admit. Okay, so we now have no tools in the Kratos pool, so whoever's going next is going to be attacking from scratch. As a result, I'm going to pick someone with high accuracy here, like the boat mace user, Solon. So Solon, let's go 1, 2, 3. Maybe 3 is good. I think that's probably fine. I will roll this because I need a 5+ to hit. That is a 1. Let's get 1 rage, and let's re-roll using our fate. Come on. Really?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay. Oh, you know, I should put this back as well. Sorry about that. Wow. Okay, so it's Missapalooza. I guess after everyone watched that chain fist pummeling, I mean, I guess Solon has an excuse. They were the recipient of quite the beating. So, you know, I guess I'll go a little easy on them. All right, now we have Herodotus over here. Unfortunately, Herodotus did not have enough danger to be able to make use of the rush ability yet, but it's okay. He's not entirely out of the fight yet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go, right behind this bad boy. And let us roll our 3 Siren Teeth here. Let's gain a rage for doing so. We have 2, 3, and 2. Wow. If I spend 1 fate, is 1 hit really going to make the difference on a level 2 card? Not really. I guess I'll just try it for 1. That's a 3 still. Okay, so Herodotus swung and missed as well. So that is no good, which leaves our friend Ulyssia here with the job of fixing everything. So Ulyssia will not bother moving. She's going to spend her move action to ready the petrified javelin. And I suppose let's go ahead and use the petrified javelin here to attack. It's got 2 dice rolling with it at +1 apiece. We have a 10 here, which is certainly a hit. The 5 is not quite a hit. Make sure we get our rage, of course. And I guess we'll re-roll this just to see if we could get a hit out of this. Come on. That's even worse. Okay, so we have 1 hit, which is going to net us 1 red die and a second. Now, on these 2 dice, it's very unlikely, to be honest, that we're going to be able to wound a level 2 hit location, but we have no choice but to try. Muscular biceps thighs. Wow. Those, something about the shape of them, I was thinking of chicken legs just now. All right, we have 5 here for the armor value. My goodness. Yeah, no matter what I roll, I couldn't even possibly get it. Oh, and I did mean to leave tokens, though, didn't I? Because he did hit. No, he didn't. Never mind. Haha. Never mind. Tricking myself. Alright, so, yeah, even if I roll these, I don't know. No matter what I roll, yeah, it's not going to matter. So, it has a wound reply, though, meaning that it would only have resolved this stuff if I had wounded it. I didn't. So, at least we got it out of the way and freed up a level 1 body part, which is a bit more reasonable. And at the end of my turn, I can leave 2 of these tokens here. Let's see. I suppose for this level 1, I'll just leave 1 apiece, because that worked out for us numerous times in the past. Very good. Alright, and then I will flip that, and then we will flip, and we'll flip, and we'll flip and flip. And then we are ready to see what terrible troubles are upon us. Solar plexus. Ooh, we knocked the wind out of him. Look at that. Somehow the creature understands your connection to the Titan and attacks the most vulnerable neural plexus. Uh-oh. Wow. Target the priority target in range. Okay, there is not one. Target closest Titan in front in range. So it is actually looking amazingly over at our friend Ulyssia.
Good. Good.
No, Bob, that's bad.
So he's going to move and attack. Oh boy. And if it's 3 or more fate, it's an additional die. Let's see what we have here. That actually applies because we have 5. So we're going to roll 3 dice, meaning we could potentially be taking 3 hits from this. And each hit does 2 danger apiece and then knock down. Oh no. Oh boy. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll these. 5, 5, and 2. That's not going to cut it. No, no, no. No siree. I mean, I guess I'll just try re-rolling 1 of these. No. Okay. Yeah, my luck is, we can see what path it's on right now. So that's going to be 2 danger apiece. And then I have to draw, because there is that exclamation point. So I have to draw one of these major trauma cards. We went from nothing straight to the end of the major traumas. Maze Eruption. Place a 0 labyrinth tile under your Titan and then knock down. Okay, so I'm going to get knocked down no matter what happens. So the labyrinth tiles are special terrain tiles that will enter the board, as you can see. There's not really any hard rules for how to place them or like in what orientation, so you just kind of pick it. If I wanted to, I could have optimized maybe the placement of this, but I'm not too interested in that because essentially what's happening here is relating to the story of the first campaign, where essentially the maze from the one that Daedalus made for King Minos with the story with the Minotaur in Greek mythology. This game's interpretation of that is that it's like breaking forth from the earth and is growing all across the land, terraforming it into new maze entities. So like in the middle of cities and stuff, these maze-like walls are popping up and the maze is erecting itself across the land, which is pretty cool. And that was represented here, where this part of the maze just sprang forth from the ground into battle. The only thing to really keep in mind with this is these red lines. You cannot move through these red lines or attack or see through these red lines. So essentially, like if I'm sitting here and let's say that the Primordial is up here, I would not be able to attack it because there's this giant wall in the way. I can leave the maze by going through the dotted green line sections, so I'm not trapped in here forever. Strangely, though, I would have thought that the maze would have some sort of a movement penalty, like as though you're having to spend more time finding your way through the maze, but apparently not, which is at least a slight reprieve from how it could have been. Okay. And then he would knock me down, but we're already knocked down. After attack, if 2+ danger was dealt, draw a Kratos card. Ooh, okay. So these are Kratos cards. And I guess we will see what this Kratos card is going to do. I've never seen one of these before. Abandon. Condition Kratos' mind. The primal urge to flee is too strong.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
You are fleeing. On your turn, you must move toward to the closest board edge. Do not perform your attack action. If you would cross the board edge, remove the Titan from the board and treat this as a death. Oh no! Rally. At the end of your turn, as a free action, you may perform a courage test, which is Fate+. to discard this card. Okay, so essentially, it looks like basically we'll roll the die, and we have to get a 6+ in order to find our courage and not run off the board, apparently. Wow. Okay, that's new. I haven't seen that before, so that's interesting. Wow, so he must have really gave her quite the clunk. I mean, I guess, kind of that fits thematically, right? It hits our most vulnerable neural plexus, weakening our connection to the Titan, and now the Titan is acting on instinct beyond our ability to control it. So that interaction was kind of pretty thematic. Very cool. All right, moving right along. This character's knocked down. I should actually explain what that means. So when you're knocked down, you get this status card here. You are knocked down. You cannot perform move, action, reaction, or other abilities unless otherwise stated. If you discard this card, stand up. At the end of your next turn, flip this card, which is pretty good. So basically, at the end of my next turn, I get to flip it to the standing up side, where I am able to do various things. So for right now, though, we are in the falling part of knockdown. Okay, but it is our turns to go again, and our friends just watched some horrifying things occur. But we have a level 1 body part coming up. Shouldn't be too hard to hit, theoretically. So I'm going to have Herodotus start us off. Use the power of the beard. Alright, we have 8, 4, and 1. And we get +1 rage for that, as always. Oh, you know what, though? Look at this. The Fateful Wound. All of your critical fail. I would gain 1 danger and immediately miss the attack. So you know what? I don't even think I get to spend Fate to re-roll that. I think that just happens right now. So, bam. The attack is an immediate miss, and I get a minor trauma. Wow, that's unfortunate. Okay. Battle Cry. You may move another Titan up to 2 spaces or stand another Titan up. Okay. Well, this Titan over here is knocked down, so how about we stand that Titan up? Yes, indeed. That's what we'll do. Alright, and, wow, buddy, so you missed, so we're going to get rid of those tokens. Thankfully, it's only a level 1 card coming up next, so, basically anyone could deal with that in a technical sense. Alright, and I suppose we're actually going to have Ulyssia go next, because Ulyssia is going to use move toward the closest board edge. So, Ulyssia cannot move past the Hecka-ton, and these walls are restricting Ulyssia from being able to go toward that board edge. So in this weird instance right now, the closest board edge is actually going to be this one down here, because of the fact that we have this maze blocking us. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have moved 5 spaces. If we do not pass our test here of the 6+, then we are in trouble. So let's go ahead and do our courage test by rolling this. We have to get 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Ooh, a 10. Okay, alright. Maybe this is the turn of our luck there. Normally I never roll 10s on the crit die, despite how good that is. So, we have shaken the fear out of ourselves, and we are okay, it appears. So we'll put that there and shuffle. Okay, so we have now regained our composure, and we're ready to fight, though it'll have to take place on a subsequent turn. Okay, who is next? I suppose let us have Solon go next. Solon is going to go right here and attack the side of the Hecka-ton. A 10 again! Wow, we got 2 10s in a row. Okay, and that means I actually get a chance to do a critical, so it's good that I get to show this off. We have a right shield fist. It's got 4 as the armor value, and on a failure, you would gain 1 fate and potentially get knocked down. But we are actually resolving the critical chance here. If we successfully hit, the maze plate breaks like shattered glass, revealing the fleshy insides. Hecka-ton has -1 armor from the rear. So basically, for the rest of the battle, all these armor values, if you attack from the back, is going to be -1. So this would be a 3 potentially, which is going to make everything better. Okay, yes, we have to do this. We have to do this, Solon. This is our only shot. All right, we have 2 of the red dice there, and then 1 here, of course. And if, we actually are so close to getting that new rage here. I don't remember if I had raised rage or if I'm supposed to do it right now, so I'm going to assume that I already did. As exciting as it would be to have that additional red die to help us out, but I will not cheat. No, I will not. What do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. I think we need 4, right? We do need 4. Okay. So our chances aren't blown entirely yet, though, because we have 2 rerolls here. So let's go ahead and re-roll this one in the center. We just need one more break.
Show me 7.
Yes! Yes! For the first time since I started playing this game, and I mean in all of history, not just today, for the first time since playing this game, I was able to score a critical hit. It finally happened. I thought it was impossible because I'm like, you have to roll a 10 on that one stupid white die. Even if I roll 10s on all the black dice on a 4-dice attack, if it's not on the white one, it doesn't count. But look at this. The maze plate breaks like shattered glass, revealing the fleshy insides. It has -1 armor from the rear. And of course, let us not forget to escalate. So that's a level 1 body part, meaning a level 2 gets shuffled in here. And let us search for the last remaining level 1, the cold open. AI card, there we go. And we will get the level 2 AI card in here, bringing that to 6 wounds. And you know what I'll do as well? So that I don't forget, because I am prone to forget it. I'll put it right there. I'm going to leave it on the board. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Otherwise, I'll forget. And what I'll do instead is clone this card and put a copy over here. There we go. Okay, perhaps our luck is on the mend, friends. Perhaps it is. Boom. -1 armor when attacking from the rear. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. And last but not least, we get to leave some tokens behind. We have a break token here, and we get to leave 2 tokens from our rage ability. So I say we'll do 1 opening and 2 breaks, because the next piece is a level 2 piece, and I think we only have level 2 pieces left until such a time as we escalate to the dreaded level 3s. Okay, 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 okay. It's going to be okay. And Phylactera has yet to go. So Phylactera, I believe it's time. I think Phylactera will move 1, 2, right there. Yep. And Phylactera will attack with the Siren Blade. And let's get you a rage. Ooh, 6, my goodness. We have a 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 1 opening is 7, meaning that is a hit. Let's take a look at what we're swinging at. Exposed back arms. Ooh, I like the art on that. It's like the spine is there, and these arms are gripping to the spine, almost like a rib cage. Yes, indeed. We have 4 armor here that we have to get through. On a failure, this would happen. So let's go ahead and gather our dice. We get 2 from the Siren Blade, 1 from here, and let's not forget 1 from being at crazy high rage. We're very angry titans. Yes, we are. We have 1, 2, 3, and we have 2 breaks, and we have many potentials. So that's going to bring us up to 5. We only needed 4 to actually damage this bit. So guess what? Bam! There we go. And this is a failure response, so we did not fail. So now, unfortunately, we are going to be adding level 3 cards here. And we're going to get rid of one of those level 2s and bring a level 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, man, I shuffled it right to the top. Oh, no. Please. Oh, wait, no. No one else has a chance to wound. Oh, no. Oh, this is awful. Oh, and you know what else? I just realized I was attacking from the rear. So even if I only got 3 successes there with my rerolls, it actually would have been enough. Oh, no. No, never mind. He was attacking from the rear, not Phylactera. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Wow. All right. Oh, as much as I dread it. Oh, and I guess I get to leave 2 tokens here. Oh, I do get to do back away 1, though, so that's nice. Per my sword. I think I'm going to leave... What do we have? Body part 2. I guess what I'll do is... maybe I'll try that, actually. 2 scratches. I mean, breaks. Yes, they are breaks. I'm sorry, I get that wrong sometimes. Okay, and as much as I dread it, it's time for the first level 3 AI. Backbreaker! Oh my gosh! Look at that art. Wow! One of the mighty front hands bends inwards, almost as if the Hecka-ton was kneeling. The other hands raise you in the air and slam down. Target priority, target in range. There is none. Target closest titan in front in range. Okay, in front in range is actually going to be our poor friend who is trying to flee the fight. Perhaps the titan actually knew better than the pilot did what was about to transpire. Move and attack. Oh my goodness, and at 8+ fate, you just straight up die. Wow. Okay, so he's going to move. I know he's going to barrel through our friend here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Oh, boy. This is going to be painful, I can tell. Move and attack. Each hit does 2 danger. If you don't die from this attack, draw an obol regardless of danger. Wow. After attack knockdown. I have to roll 3 dice. Yeah. Oh, boy. Of course, you had to go for one of the people who didn't have any armor or shielding. 7, 5, and 3. None of those are going to work. Nope. And you know what? Rerolling 1 or 2 really won't make the difference, even if I did get successes. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would bring me... Basically, the reason that maxes out at 9 is because the highest that you can go in the game's Triskelion is like 10 plus, and that's just a generic value. Whenever you're at 10, you now draw from this new stack called obol cards, which there's only 2, and either you have you live or you get a you die, and that's the gist of it. So let's go ahead and see if we live or die. You died. There it is. I have a rendezvous with death. Okay, well, there it is. So, unfortunately, friends, we did see our first casualty of war. Ulyssia, you will be missed. We appreciate your efforts, and we will look forward to seeing you in the afterlife. Wow. Okay, and then after attack, it would knock down, but she's already, well, she's down and out for the count permanently, if you catch my drift. Okay. Moving right along. Okay, so actually, you know what, though? This is kind of good, in a way. It's not good that she died, but it's good that the board is in the setup that it is, because remember, when we attack from behind the Hecka-ton now, we now get -1 against the armor values when dealing the wounds. So that is actually really good, because a lot of our characters here can coordinate that very well. So I think what I'm going to start with, Herodotus, I suppose. Herodotus now has 2 danger, meaning... Oh, and you know what? I should put this back. There we go. He has 2 danger, meaning he can now utilize that rage ability. You spend 1 fate, you move up to 6 spaces, but you need to move in the shortest path to the monster, which is going to net me +1 break up here. So let's get a break. We have 3 breaks to work with, and we get to attack the Hecka-ton with our 3 swords. And let's increase our rage before we forget. All right, we have 9, 7, and 1. Oh no, we got that 1 again. So because of our fatal wound, we gain 1 damage and immediately miss the attack. That's really unfortunate because we just got access to our extra die. Wow, that sucks. Okay, well, alright, that is what it is. Let's see what this minor trauma does. Maybe it'll let us do a free attack. Nope, faint. Okay, that's not awful. Leave 2 opening or break tokens. Okay, so we get to leave 2 opening or break tokens. Let's leave the break tokens for our friend who is to follow us. Yep. Yep, I think that's okay. And unfortunately, even though it was a hit, this is counted as a miss, which means we don't get to use those. We don't get to leave our excellent tokens. Darn it, Herodotus, you poor bearded man. Oh, let me flip these over. I'll leave that person face down because they're down and out, if you know what I mean. All right. And let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and have our friend here, Phylactera, move on up and try to swing at the backside here. Oh, no! Why couldn't you have just stopped? And that's a rage 7 now. Why couldn't you have stopped on that 9? Are you really serious? Okay, there. Was that too much to ask? Goodness. Goodness. All right. Here we go. We have Knuckle Teeth. Oh, my. Look at that. Ooh-hoo. I do like the art here, though. Very cool. 5 armor here. Good thing we have some breaks to work with, indeed. On a fail, gain Hecka-ton level danger. And actually, remember, since we were attacking from behind, this is a 4, not a 5, which is a bit more reasonable. But we are going to get to roll 1, 2, 3, and 4 dice. So we just need 4 breaks across 4 dice. We can do that. Oh, man. 2, 4, 5, 6. And then if using those breaks, we have 8. It's too bad doing double the damage on the breaks doesn't net you a critical, huh? Too bad. Okay, but the Knuckle Teeth have been wounded. Bam. which is going to get us one of these. And we're going to remove that, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, whew. It is not the level 3 card up there. Very good. All right, so we did what we could. She gets to do back away 1 at the end of the turn. Yes, she does. And we get to leave 1, 2, 3 tokens here. Look at that, up to 3. What do we have next? Level 2, huh? What if I do 2 breaks and an opening for my tokens? How about that, huh? Yeah, I think that's fine. We have 8 wounds. Okay, so we only have 2 wounds left to deal. It's too bad I will not be able to move through friendly figures. As far as I know, you can't do that. If you could, I would move straight right here to attack and get the benefit of being in that enemy's back area, but unfortunately, I don't believe you can do that. So I'm going to play as though you can't until such a time as I learn otherwise. All right, this is Solon. Solon. Here you are. I will spend 1 fate to utilize the rush ability. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will put yet another break up there, leaving us with 3 breaks, 1 accuracy. And that's on top of the +2 accuracy here. So we are working off of a pretty good baseline. Oh, it almost rolled onto that 10. It was so close. Y'all saw it. I got excited. Okay. Yes, and I know I did not increase the rage this time because I asked myself about whether or not I increased the rage last time at 4 with this character. So, yes, we are now at 5, which unlocks that extra die. And we're going to get to roll 1, 2, 3, and 4 dice here against whatever we're looking at. And what are we looking at? Shoulder hands up. Another bit of the spine here with some arms extending out. It has an armor value of 5. I wish I could say it was 4 because I was attacking from behind, but unfortunately I am not. But hopefully with these dice we can make it happen. Oh yeah, even without those assists we did it. 2, 4, 5, 6 at the very baseline. Very good. Bam! And it does have a wound response, but before I forget, as I am keen to do, let's go ahead and, oh, whoops, let's throw one of those down there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, it looks like we're getting pushback 1, gain 2 danger, and then knockback 5. Alright, so he's going to turn like this. 1, 2. Okay. And I think that destroys the maze because he just moved on to it. And, oh, sorry, it was actually pushback 1. Whoops. So I'll put that maze piece right back. Sorry about that. Here we are. And I get 2 danger is what it is. Okay. 6, 7. Okay, that's 7 danger, meaning that we are now drawing from the grave trauma cards now. Let's see what we get. Godly Resolve. Discard all something cards, something tokens, and ambrosia tokens. If you don't have any, subtract 3 fate. Okay. Okay, right. I don't know what those tokens are. They may, in fact, not be part of the demo. But I'll take -3 fate because I love doing the rerolls. I love getting second chances. All right. And then we get pushed back a certain number of spaces. Let's find out how many. 5. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, and I'll move this. 4. Oh, and he knocked us into this pillar. As far as I know, even though these are destructible, they don't actually deal you damage if you get knocked into them. Or danger, I guess. They don't deal you danger. Or at least it doesn't say that on the card anywhere, so I'm not sure. But if that is the case, I think that would make some thematic sense, but maybe it throws off a bit of the math, like especially with this guy who throws you around the stage pretty frequently. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But anyway, we have used all of these tokens in this attack, but we do get to leave 1 free break, and because we're at 5 rage, we get to leave 2 of these tokens. Let's see. I suppose... What's the next one? We have a level 3. Oh my goodness. You know what? Because we have a level 3, we better leave those breaks. Yep, we better leave it for 3. Okay. Okay. Now, one of the neat things about level 3 is they do tend to be pretty harsh. But when actually wounding them, you deal 2 wounds. Because you have basically chipped off the outer armor and the outer defenses, and you are now striking at the most vulnerable parts on the monster. So that's one of the benefits of the level 3s here. Okay. And I think that is everybody. So I suppose it's time for a level 3 AI card, as much as I don't want to see it. Oh my, Hecka-ton Smasher. The primordial moves all its weight onto one side, delivers the mother of all haymakers. I'll say. Target all titans in zone 3. Wow, so that's going to be... Oh man, that's going to be these two right here. 1, 2, 3. Yep. And he's going to resolve an attack here of 2, but if you have 3 or more fate, it's +1. And I think both of those characters probably do. Yep. And, yeah. Okay, definitely. So both of them are at fate 3+. They're going to roll 3 dice against each other and then knock down and potentially knock back 8. And then, look at this. After final attack, draw another AI card. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's start with Phyloctera here. We'll give it a roll. Okay, that 10 is going to work. This is on a 5, it appears. Yes, I'm going to spend 1 fate. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, well, we know this was a miss before it rolled to an 8, and this remains to be a miss. So, unfortunately, Phyloctera is not dodging any of this, meaning she's going to take 2, 4, 6 rage from the, danger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is going to net her a grave trauma because she is still 1 under the 10 from the obols. But now, I learned online, though, you don't actually resolve these cards until such a time as all targets in the zone have taken any danger that is applicable to them. So essentially, she's just going to hang on to that for a second. And our friend over here is going to roll. We have an 8 right there, and we have a 1 and 2. Alright, the 8 will dodge, which is good. The 1 and 2 will not. He has some fate to spare, though, so I figure let's go ahead and try re-rolling this just for luck. Okay, so we dodged 2 of them. Not too bad. It's going to net us with 2 danger, and that's going to leave us with a major trauma card by the end of this. And let's go ahead and see what they do.
And now, the true test. Hold fast, or expire.
Heroic life. You will probably die, but until then you will fight the Primordial with all of your being. Stand up, perform pushback 3, and immediate attack. If you deal a wound, you live. If not, ignore all responses, then die. Oh, finally shuffle this card back into the trauma deck. Okay, and look at this noble art here, raising their spear in a valiant last stand. And indeed, that is what Phyloctera will do. So I get to do, what is it again? Pushback 3 and an immediate attack. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. There we go. We have pushed him. We pushed him over onto this. Unfortunately, that's not one of those excellent traps, which is just unfortunate. But look at this. We are actually behind the Hecka-ton, which means we are going to get the benefit of that -1 armor. And let us perform an immediate attack. Yes, we will. And we have 3 breaks to work with. Okay, here we go. That's a 7 plus 1 is 8. That means it is an attack. We do get +1 rage. Not that we have any more excellent abilities to use, but it is something. And let's see what it is that we're hitting. Corruption's Root. Armor value of 8, which is really a 7 because we are behind him. And it has an instinct here. Instinct is something that happens whether you miss or whether you hit. It's a response that will always trigger. 8, my goodness. I mean, I do get to roll all 4 dice, but 8, I mean, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute, guys. Look. 2, 4, 5, 6, 2 potentials, and I have 3 scratches up here. I mean, breaks. They're breaks. They're not scratches. So even with that, it's really 7 because we're attacking from behind. But even if not, we actually did it. Wow. Bam. Got him. There we go. And look at that. That is the 10th wound, which actually would bring it to 11 because level 3 cards do not actually go in here technically. You actually draw these additional cards for a double wound right there, for example, which indicates you have 2 wounds. Wow. What a conclusion, friends. And that is how you take down a Hecka-ton. Wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Okay, so let me share some final thoughts. I think the Hecka-ton is great. He's not exactly a very complicated villain to fight, so to speak. He's not like someone you have to really think about strategy. It's for him, for the most part, if you're in front of him, he's going to send his fists at you, and that's kind of what he does. Or occasionally, like this, he does haymakers, where he tries and hits everybody. But in this particular case, this was actually one of the more active fights I've had with him, frankly. I remember facing him in the original version of the mod, and it didn't seem like he actually moved very much from where he started the battle. But this time around, we've kind of went a little bit over to the left side of the board, then down a bit, and then now kind of back toward the center again. But we had, you know, a journey of ups and downs. We had a bunch of unfortunate misses, and then it concluded, thankfully, on a high note instead of just a fizzle. And I really felt the extra impact of having that 4th die after being able to build up that rage. But it is unfortunate we lost Ulyssia, but her sacrifice was not in vain as we were able to conquer this terrible beast. I really, really, really enjoy the escalated sort of thing, where you're escalating the body parts of the AI, so he's getting tougher and more aggressive as the battle goes on, but you likewise are also getting tougher and more aggressive the more attacks you make, which incentivizes action instead of, you know, maybe support characters that hide out in the back and don't do a lot of attacking. So I think that's a really interesting sort of design that incentivizes attack-based gameplay, which is good because I find that to be the most enjoyable aspect of these kind of games. And the only thing I will say is that given the limited scope of gear that you have access to in the demo, you don't really have a very good insight into like what the potential build options are, especially in regards to evasion. Being able to evade those attacks, like currently, you know, there was like this shield here that offered you 2 rerolls, which is good. There also is an armor up here. I didn't understand what the reinforced thing did, so I didn't wear it. But from what I understand, this red die over here means whenever you take damage, you roll the red die, and for each of the break symbols, you actually negate 1 damage from the final value of what damage, or danger, I'm sorry, the danger you would take. So that's pretty cool. But as far as like customizing builds that really optimize evasion, because most of the time on the attacks, you sort of just roll and you hope that you get within 8+, but I know maybe I'm spoiled from Kingdom Death, but in Kingdom Death, you know, there's items that grant you evasion so that an 8+ really becomes a 6+, which is a big difference. I mean, that means you dodge on a 1 through 5. Or in this game, if you would reduce it to a 6+, that means you dodge on a 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's a 50% chance to dodge a hit, like this terrible Hecka-ton smasher. Ugh, heck. All right. But I really like the trauma cards that I was getting. This Fateful Wound was the worst one and constantly foiled poor Herodotus. Perhaps it knew that the power of his excellent beard was too strong to be allowed to proceed unchecked, so the game put a nerf on it. But yes, oh, and I guess what would have happened, he also got a heroic death from the wow, okay, gotcha, from the deck there. So this also would have resulted in a death, and that's actually one of the things. The major trauma, you can actually pull cards that kill you from it. There was a lot of debate online as to whether or not that was good game design or what have you, and the developer felt that if you always felt that you were safe between these two, it doesn't add for a lot of tension to the experience. So he felt that adding 1 or 2 cards that cause you to die in major trauma, it makes you a little wary about getting at those danger values. But because of the fact that you can't optimize your ability to dodge or have much of a choice in it, because you also can't look at, generally you can't look at what cards are coming up next. So it's not even like in Kingdom Death where you can customize who's taking the hit and what kind of hit it's going to be and whether they're prepared to take it or not. So in that regard, you know, I think that the trauma thing, that's why people felt as though it wasn't really tension, because it's basically just random. You don't, within the scope of the demo where you don't really have a good insight into your abilities to mitigate damages incurred very much, they felt like it was just you roll and either you dodge it or you don't, and if you don't, you happen to build up the trauma, which you have no choice in doing, and then if you draw the you died trauma card from right here, I mean, like, I'll be honest, there were times I played in the original version of this mod where straight out the gate, you know, I would get something like the Cold Open, I'd roll, and I would take 4 hits from it, which puts me up into major trauma territory, and then when I revealed the top card of the major trauma deck after I shuffled, it would be the You Died, and I would have one person dead before they even got to do a single thing. That's unfortunate. It's incredibly unlikely, technically speaking, because there's I believe 15 cards. One of the cards I think is out here right now. Yep. So it's a 1 in 15 chance of you to draw it, which should be low. But I know that I certainly have run into it multiple times. I haven't played this game that much. And I remember feeling as though it was a frustrating thing. So it looks like maybe they actually changed it to now, even though you die, you actually get to do something before you die. Instead of just you die and that's that. So I like this version a lot better than just the one where, I think it was called Disemboweled, and it was basically just you die and there was no bells or whistles about it, and that was it. And for the most part, unless you have a very specific piece of gear, right here, the Sales Bolus, you don't get to redraw those trauma cards. So you'd have to have this in order to mitigate that thing. But I don't know how hard it is to get these in the final game, or how many there are, or if holding this is really setting you behind on your ability to wear something else for your armor there that's better, because you're just so afraid of that you die card coming in and messing your day up. So overall, though, I think, frankly, I really do like the idea of the trauma cards as the damage stuff, instead of it just being the normal, oh, okay, so I took 4 damage and I have 7 health. Oh, but I have this armor, which means -2, so I'm only taking 2 damage. But then, actually, this is a fire attack, so that means I'm vulnerable to it, which means I get plus... You know, those kind of games, and just sort of the headache of the math. I think there's enough math in this game to keep track of, and there's enough things to keep track of in this game that I think the experience may, in fact, have been hurt if you had to also worry about, okay, well, this and this and that, and I have 7 health points, which means this, and, you know... So I like the danger idea, and I love this new novel concept. I really think it's good. I mean, I guess I'll continue playing with this new version of the deck and see how frequently I really run into that you die card. I mean, if you run into it late game, I think that's okay. But it was usually, for me, within the first 2 rounds, I would run into it in there, no matter how much I shuffled in the Tabletop Simulator mod, which was disheartening, to say the least. But, yes, excellent. We have slain our Hecka-ton, but there are actually 2 other potential monsters that we could fight in this mod, and I will be back to fight those on future episodes, one of which has to do with these labyrinth tiles. And if you know your Greek mythology, you might be able to tell what kind of monster we might fight in a labyrinth that used to house a certain particular kind of monster. But in any case, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. I know I had a fun time, as I generally do with this game, and definitely looking forward to the full experience. But for what we have here, I think this is very, very promising, and I know it's going to be right up my alley when it arrives. So keep in touch, and we will look forward to another episode at a future date. Take care.